Joni, we're gonna get going. Hey, good to see you. Blue, that is a great color on you. That was a great color on you. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Alan, you'll tell me. Okay. Welcome to the August 7th, 2024 North Logan City Council meeting. We will excuse Buzzy today, who is away on business always. We will begin with with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Joni, after which Kenny, do you mind saying the opening prayer?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll go to that.
Don't mind. That's all right. That's all right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we are so grateful today for this wonderful community that we live in. We're grateful for the people who serve each other here and for the beauty that surrounds us. And we're grateful that we have this opportunity to meet together today as a city council. And we ask you to please bless that we can discuss the items of greatest importance to our citizens and that we can make wise decisions that will benefit our community now and into the future, and that we can establish good foundations upon which our posterity can continue to prosper in this area. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you both. Okay, then I would entertain a motion to adopt tonight's agenda. Motion by Emily,
Second.
second by Kenny. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's unanimous. We have our last month's meeting minutes, July 17th. Oh, we don't excuse Buzzy. Welcome. I know that we've emailed some changes that have been incorporated. I think we're probably ready to approve those minutes, if I can get a motion.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve the City
July
Council-
17th.
July 17th City Council meeting,
And
regular and closed session.
Okay, motion by Emily. Second by Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and now we'll move on to recognition of an exemplary staff member. Today's is Mary Corey. This past month, Mary provided tremendous support to the Community Development Department by tediously compiling and formatting thousands of lines of housing data in support of the city's annual housing report to the state. This task was well above and beyond Mary's regular duties, but Mary always has a can-do attitude and finds opportunities to support her colleagues in the city. Mary's truly an exemplary employee who is highly appreciated by her colleagues and her community. Mary does fantastic work and we're so grateful for her. So join me in a hand of applause. All right, Alan, do you mind taking us through follow-up and action items?
yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm jumping down through here. Just some updates because we won't have the final reports at the end of staff. So as far as the city office goes, we're wrapping up a few things here, but you've seen the community center next door, the progress that they're making there. They're grubbing the site, they're clearing the site for underground utilities and the footings for the new building. So those are the main things that are taking place right now. Jumping down through here, we'll talk about a few things related to water this evening. Needless to say, we're going through several capital improvement lists and projects that we're working on. Sewer, same thing, finalizing our bond for our new trunk line and just finalizing some sewer master plan updates. Streets, they're doing a number of things. You'll see in the next couple of weeks, August 20th through 21st, they'll do a fog seal. So they've already done the chip seals throughout the community. And those chip seals, now you have the option to come back later, and the city's going to put a fog seal over those, which is kind of a black oil that they put over the top of the actual chip seal. They'll do that August 20th through 21st. We'll send out announcements regarding that to the community. They're also doing a number of sidewalk projects, asphalt repair. And they're also helping with the 1515 East injection well. That's up in Green Canyon Cove. Back in the day, they didn't have a lot of stormwater standards for new subdivisions when they came in, so they overwhelm those downstream. So this is an attempt to help correct that by putting in, it's a fancy name for a sump, an injection well, where they put that. They have no other option. They don't have someone's yard or somewhere else where they can put the stormwater above ground, so they put it underground. And so that's what they're doing, and they're working on that primarily in-house to help do that. So that's up to them. Engineering, the main things are this week, there are a lot of COG applications, but also getting started on 12th East. So 12th East, primarily the portion just east of Elk Ridge Park, they're working through right now. And they'll probably start in the next week or two on that roadway, along with the associated utilities on that project. Parks, number of projects going on right now. Finally, the pavilion at Meadowview. We'll probably start looking into the pavilion up at Elk Ridge on the east side. There's another pavilion that goes there as part of our RAPS multi-year deal that will go in either this fall or in the spring to complete that. Trails, we will meet. We'll finalize the final Bonneville Shoreline Trail route going north of Green Canyon. That's actually later this week. We'll finalize that as it goes in and ties into Wildercrest. And so we'll get that all taken care of probably this fall. And that's through a grant that we've received. And then we are working on the other components or the other portions of that through a study that we received RAPS money for. Recreation, they have a number of programs coming up. We're starting soccer, starting up, art camp, even archery. There's no end to the things that they'll do. They have a fossil dino fest that's coming up this weekend and the next weekend, where they'll do a number of events related to dinosaurs. So they just add everything to their list of things that they're working on. Facilities, there are a few things that they're working on with the other departments, but I should recognize with both recreation, and we'll jump down to library, but recreation, they did have their Pioneer Day festivities. I just want to say hats off to them. That was the largest Pioneer Day in the history of Cache Valley. The only reason I say that is because they actually did a count this year. So they went down and they found out that there was over 12,000 people just at our parade. That's more attendance than all of the other cities' Pioneers Day festivities combined. So
We need
just
more
that
candy.
one event. So need more candy. We can go over that later. There's a cost to that. Yeah. It's basically a vote for every piece of candy you throw out. So no, and just thanks to everyone. That takes the police department, the rec department, the parks department, the library, staff that are helping with communication, roads. It's every department across the board that helps out to put that event together. And so that's off to them. It really is incredible to see how large an event that has turned into in the Valley. So hats up to them. And then also we had the library closing social, which was a hit as well. I can't remember the numbers there, but several hundred people came to that closing social. So
Alan,
good
real
job on
quick.
each of those.
With the 12,000 at the parade, how did we have people physically going around and counting, or how did we arrive at that number?
So they went down each side and they just went, the people that were kind of pushing people back out of the parade route. This is the safety component. So we can still throw candy out in the parades, but those people, while they were doing that, were also clicking a counter in their pocket as they went down the road. Yeah, the next largest parade is probably Hiram's, which is their 4th of July parade in the Valley, which is about 8,000. I shouldn't say this. Well, I'll just put it this way. Another city near us spent $50,000 on Pioneer Day, which is 5 times what we spend on Pioneer Day. And they had about 1/10 the attendance at their event. So that's off. I mean, that's incredible to have such a large turnout and such an affordable event for the citizens. Jumping down through, community development, we'll go over a number of things tonight, but we do have our secondary water ordinance and our geologic hazard overlay ordinance that they'll be working on in the coming weeks as well, because we have kind of the timelines on those to get those done. Jumping down through economic development, they'll start on Rush and McDonald's here shortly. Those 2 facilities, probably in the next couple of weeks, they'll submit their building plans for those 2 buildings. Just crossing the T's and dotting the I's on those, which is great for the community. Treasurer, we're going through a process of hiring a new receptionist. And then probably moving to Express Bill Pay. It's a new software that handles our online utility payments. We kind of hit a point where we're a little bit too big for our old software. It just doesn't have the capability that we need for how big we are now and the number of accounts that we manage. And also it provides another opportunity for transparency and communication. There's a lot of communication aspects in there where they can communicate with the residents about online bill pay as well. Coming down through human resources, there are a number of things that we're doing, mainly related to onboarding right now. So we'll have some onboarding kind of updates related to that. Thanks to Scott. We're going through the finalization of last year's budget, everything that ended in July 1 or June 30th. And Scott's going through each of those and also updating our depreciation schedule. We went over the library, amazing event they put together. Police, they went through interviews for the code enforcement officer. So hopefully we can get that into place. That's one of the highest requested items. It's probably trails, then code enforcement officer within our surveys are the two highest requests right now. So we'll look at that. And then fire department, several things are taking place. And they're hiring a few new employees there. So sorry, I skipped through a lot of those pretty quickly, unless there's any questions.
I don't think so, but just acknowledge that like the kind letter that we got from Laura Stewart, kind of talking about the history of the Pioneer Day festivities and how much she appreciated it. I thought that was so kind. So, do we need to hear from department heads now, given that we're going to be jumping into workshop?
That's up to the mayor.
Let's
You could
do
it
that.
From follow up on previous.
If
items.
you're ready, I'll put you guys on the spot so that you're kind of clearing before. So Chief Thompson, do you want to say anything? Okay. We always appreciate the
off.
fire truck. And you always send a really great driver, so send our thanks. Okay,
Absolutely.
They did an amazing job training at House of Demo, so tell Ann. Exceptional job. Was I not, could you not hear me?
I mean, just make.
Oh, thank you, thank you. All right, thank
she's
you.
green. Okay,
Thank
Chief
you.
Goodrich, did you? Yeah, that's great news. Jordan, anything you want to bring up? Scott Perks? Okay. Okay, thanks. Marie? Okay, Scott Bennett. Okay, thank you for doing it out of order today. Okay, then we'll move on to our action items. The first is consider resolution authorizing the issuance of water revenue bonds. I see we have Zion's Public Finance here. Do you want us to speak to that? Okay. Alex, we're gonna pause you. Is your mic on?
I had the same thing, Alex.
How about that?
Yes.
Oh, man. Should I start over?
No,
My spiel?
We have no
Oh.
idea who you are.
What's,
We have no idea who you are without that on there.
but I love this new building. Wow. Great job on this. All right, I'm here tonight, because Alan and your staff, was able to secure a, $8,030,000 financing with the state's Drinking Water Board. And, so we're here tonight to, put in front of you a, parameters resolution, similar to what you've done on your prior bond projects. This, resolution doesn't bind you to anything at this point in time, but it does begin the process to issue the bond, as well as calls for a public hearing. I don't know that we've solidified the date that we're going to have a public hearing yet, but in any case, that process will begin tonight, assuming the adoption of this resolution. The financing that you were able to get from the state, as I mentioned, was an $8,030,000 loan at 2.25% interest. So congratulations on that, because that's probably more than half the, or, you know, at least half what the market loan would be. If you were to go out for a 30-year loan, it would be double, if not triple that rate, considering where current market rates are. So great job on getting that low interest rate loan approved. The financing goes out 30 years. We have the parameters set at 35 years. That was due to the state's bond attorney that wanted to give us some wiggle room depending on when we actually issue the bonds, that we have that extra time. But the assumption is that that will be a 30-year amortization on that. So happy to answer any questions regarding the resolution or the financing. But that's what we have in front of you tonight.
Okay. Anything to add, Jordan or Alan? This is for the water tanks and the transmission line, correct? Yeah, the well. Okay. Any questions for Alex? Okay, then I will entertain a motion.
Motion to authorize the issuance of the water revenue bonds.
Okay,
Did I say that?
via a resolution.
Via
Sure.
resolution, yeah.
Okay,
You want me to-
motion by Buzzy,
I'll second.
second by Joni. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes unanimously. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, that's that.
Okay, and then we'll move on to consider authorizing the signing of a contract for the engineering, design, and construction management of multiple culinary water capital projects. Jordan, is this you?
Yeah, I can take it. So as you just learned, with the help of Sunrise Engineering, Stephen is here. He helped us, was a big part in getting that bond or that, the loan set up with us. This is a contract with Sunrise Engineering on how we're going to spend that money. This includes, if you scroll down, this is the scope of work, which includes, you go down, it's a transmission line, 4 million gallon tank, and a culinary water well. And so this is how they've broken it out to include each of the items in that. Well, it's basically our budget to how we will get the infrastructure in. So this is an agreement, a contract with Sunrise Engineering. And if you have any questions, Steven is here too.
So,
Fair
sorry,
down.
assuming approval on this, when will we actually start on those tanks? On that
Yeah,
property?
so this is the go-ahead. Yeah, Steven, if you want to talk to it about it. But this is the go-ahead to basically give these guys the green light to start spending the money on getting designs and.
Okay,
getting
so that's
everything
what
in
I was,
place.
yeah, so we didn't do anything on designs yet, right? So that's the first phase, sorry.
Right. Part of our loan is we have a $1 million match. And so we would use the $1 million to get this stuff in place. And then Steven's also been working on another grant that would assist this as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, my name is Stephen Wood with Sunrise Engineering. I was the project manager over your water master plan, and I'll be the project manager over this, both the 4 million gallon tank, the culinary well, and the associating transmission lines and supply lines. And so, as Alex, right? Alex mentioned, so majority of this is being funded through the Division of Drinking Water. And to his point on the interest loan, people have been calling and asking how that was accomplished. So You really did get the best of what happened in that meeting. So, but yeah, this contract covers both the design, the permitting, the environmental evaluations, the construction administration of selecting contractors, and the construction and observation and management of those contractors, and the overall completeness and operational startup of both the 4 million gallon tank, the well, the transmission lines. We anticipate there being 4 separate contractors to work on this, one for the concrete tank, one for the separate transmission lines, one for the well drilling, and one for the well house equipment and construction. And we've programmed that in to manage all separate 4 contracts at separate times if needed. We'll have full-time observation and daily reports to the city council. One thing that we do enjoy doing on our construction management is a GIS hub, where you can log in anytime and see what's occurring on the site and see all the reports and pictures from the various projects. We also include budgets on those things, so the council's up to date on what money is going where and what was accomplished when. So we understand that this isn't our money we're dealing with, this is yours, and so you should understand where it's going. So that's part of our construction management, but yeah, this, if approved by the council this evening, we will start more or less tomorrow.
Great.
There's a lot to get done, and we are hoping to start with some of the advertisement for those contractors the beginning of 2025. So we've got some things to prepare to hit that cycle.
Nice.
Okay.
If you
Questions?
are able to get it out in January, this really doesn't have to do with this. I'm just curious, what is your estimated time of completion if you're able to get things out in January?
It depends on working with both your city manager and the public works director, understanding what is the highest priority for North Logan, whether it's the well drilling and equipping or the concrete tank. Right now, we're leaning toward the concrete tank, but it is to be still discussed with those and your staff to make sure that that is the route we want to go. If we do go out for the concrete tank in March, 4 million gallons is big. It's a big concrete chunk.
Yeah.
And it takes 4 million
Thank you.
gallons.
I was like 40.
40 would be truly humongous, but no, this is a 4 million gallon tank. And so that will typically take about 9 months for that construction. So we do want to start that
As soon as possible.
as soon as possible within the year. As you well know, the winter starts to hit really hard in December, but November, December are
Like,
not
it's
terrible.
like October.
That's true.
October last.
Sometimes
So-
we get real hard freezes.
But the idea is to get the tank online by the end of 25,
Okay,
and then the well would follow the next year.
excellent.
Just a question for you, Alan and Jordan. Probably you, Alan. The property that's going, we were going to eventually look at some options there. Is that still on the table for the other piece of that property, the north part?
Yeah, that's a good question, because we're looking at
It
the
recovers some costs,
property
right?
just south of Wildercrest is where
Yeah.
this will be located. And we've looked at 2 or 3 different options. One, do we subdivide the portions that we don't need anymore and add that as something else? The primary focus right now, though, is really getting the tanks in, and then kind of seeing how that affects the property. The 2 things we know for sure right now, the tanks will go on the property, so we need the exact location, and then also the Bonneville Shoreline Trail alignment. But then after that, it's discussions about what other recreation components do we add into this to enhance the area? Do they align well with the usage of a water tank and the safety and security of a water tank? And then also, is there any leftover property that could be sold off at that point?
That
can work with-
brings up a
And we can
question
work
I
with
had.
staff and arrange and kind of lay out some layouts if the council would like us to get some concepts, if that is appropriate. We can work with
Yes,
your staff to do so.
yes.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, no worries. On the map on the last page of the contract, it shows 3 locations for a tank. So I was a little confused at which we're talking about here
Ah,
for the 4
So
million.
it's a little deceptive there. So on the bottom right-hand side where you see all those Ps are,
Yeah,
those are your pump stations and your wells, and those are your 2 existing tanks. The new tank is being proposed where that purple line and blue line and the black hashed area meet. So it is only one location of the tank. It is on that property. Obviously, we're not going to put it right dead smack where that symbol is. It can move up north, south, east, west within that property as appropriate for elevations and constructability. But yeah, we are only proposing that one parcel for this tank. It does work with all the elevations in terms of the hydraulic working, as well as you already own it. So no reason
Okay.
acquiring more property.
Yeah.
thank you.
So sorry for that confusion on the
No,
imagery.
that makes sense. Thank you.
This looks awesome, really, this contract. I really want to, I mean, thank you guys for submitting such a great proposal and then also all the hard work that Alan and Jordan did. I'm ready to make a motion if everybody else is ready. Okay, I motion to authorize the signing of a contract for the engineering design and construction management of multiple culinary water capital projects.
Okay, motion by Emily. Any discussion on that? Do I have a second?
So can I ask a quick question on the motion?
Okay, so second by Joni, discussion with Kenny.
Just, I always feel like our motion should be as specific as possible. So when we say we're authorizing the contract for multiple culinary projects, should we spell those out in the motion? Okay.
Okay,
As
so you
presented.
can modify that to as presented. Okay. Is that, okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
motion by Emily, second by Joni. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes unanimously. Thanks, Stephen.
No problem. Look forward to
Thank
working with you
you.
for the next couple of years.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Okay, we'll move on to consider approval of a bid for the construction of 1200 East, 2375 North to 2750 North. Jordan, is that
Yeah.
you again? Okay.
Yes. So this is the 12th East Cog project, which you guys are very familiar with. We went out to bid and we received 5 bids back on this construction project. The 5 bids were from Geneva, Edge, Parsons, Rups, and LeGrand Johnson's. 2 bids came in pretty close. Parsons was the low bid. And with Parsons, they've got a really good timeline. We've met with them. We've worked with them on a lot of projects. And so I'm here for, approval to have them selected as a contractor on that project.
Okay, questions for Jordan?
So would you have ranked Parsons as far as comfort level of quality of product, you would have ranked them 1 also?
So yeah, we have these contractors. Those 5 are the best contractors we've worked with. Parsons, we've done a ton of projects with. They did Wolfpack Way. They've done some roundabouts. They've done some really big stuff with us, and we've had 3100 North. We've had a lot of success with them. So yeah, I'd put them at the top.
Okay, do I have a motion on that one?
Yeah, I'll motion to approve the bid for Parsons, right?
Parsons.
We approve Parsons for the construction of 1200 East.
Okay, motion by Buzzy,
Second.
second by Emily. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes unanimously. We will now adjourn, not adjourn, but move.
The joint
Yeah.
work
We
session.
will remove ourselves from this room and go into the conference room for a joint work session. Everyone's invited. Okay,
Are there old cupcakes in there, Alan?
We can find cookies.
Sorry, I was late. Hey,
Yeah.
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 Oh.
Hey.
Gosh, I hope you have to know, but